Salad greens and fish go very well together. And they grow very well together, too.
We're talking about 10,000 fish. We're talking about 1 million pounds of food residue, 300, 400, 500 yards of compost. I want to know, how did you do that here? You know, how did you make that happen on these 3 acres?
We're growing this kind of stuff. We're the largest year-round producer in the state of Wisconsin, and maybe one of the largest in the Midwest, and we're a non-profit. So we're able to grow throughout the winter inside these greenhouses without heat by using the compost pile. On the one side, we've got 10,000 tilapia in there in warm water, and there's the heater that heats the water, that heats the entire greenhouse in the wintertime. And then we've got lake perch grown in cold water over here in this greenhouse. So we're taking, say, 3,000 square feet and turning it into 4,500 square feet of growing space by using vertical growing. We're able to grow these, and these fish runs. One pump operates this entire system. We lift water up, gravity takes it this way on both levels, and it drops back into the system. So this is a very efficient way of growing food. This is ag of the future. Got fish on the bottom, you pump water up and let it matriculate through beds and cleanse them back into the systems down below.
Alan is refining the process with technical help from Fred Binkowski, an aquaculture specialist at the University of Wisconsin Sea Grant Institute.
3,000 pounds of market-sized fish in there.
You know, the greenhouse model is fairly unique for aquaculture. Not many people have been doing this.
So, what we do at Growing Power here, first of all, is we're farmers, and as we're producing food 365 days a year here, you can see it's freezing outside, but we still have production going on inside. We're farmers. Number 2 is we're educators, big tours like this, but also workshops that we host here and around the country and around the world. And 3, we're innovators. We're always looking for ways to do things better, streamlining, simplifying, and getting more production and getting less ground. And in the city, land tends to get much more expensive, so you have to get more dollars per acre. In fact, the figure that we use here is we're going at about $5 a square foot in this greenhouse. $5 a square foot. So if you look at how many per acre that is, it's about $200,000 per acre. Right? Now, if you go out of there, it flows across this bed. This has so much filtration in it. Flows across this bed that has the pea gravel and the watercress. If you ever want to try some watercress, here's a good place to snap a little bit off.
We use the plants to filter out the waste.
Right.
Plants, soil, and pebbles make natural filters.
Flows across there. There's one pump you can see down there that pumps it up to these 2 levels, flows through this bed of watercress and underneath those tomatoes, and then back in there to the perch. Okay? It's a really ingenious system for raising tilapia, which is an African fish that can grow in high density. So the idea is that in a 55-gallon drum, you can raise 1 fish per gallon of water. So they're saying within a year, you'll be able to grow 50 pounds of protein with 3 55-gallon drums. One which contains fish, the other one which contains stones, and the third one which contains this stuff here, which is duckweed, which is a food. Tilapia are vegetarians, and duckweed is about 40% protein. It's excellent food. These 3 barrels are all filled with water, and they're connected with PVC pipe, and the water circulates between them all. And it's supposed to be a real healthy, efficient way of raising fish. However, if you know anything at all about aquarium, you know there's a proportion of surface area to depth that you have to pay attention to. You need to have more surface area than depth. And of course, a 55-gallon drum is exactly the wrong thing. And so Will found out that these didn't work very well and started experimenting with different types of systems. And you'll see when we get into Greenhouse 4, the early modular systems. And this is the latest one we built. And I would call it state-of-the-art, except they actually get simpler as we go along. There's what tilapia look like. That one right on top there is about the size. There's a really good one there laying on the edge. That's about the size.
We're talking about 10,000 fish. We're talking about 1 million pounds of food residue, 300, 400, 500 yards of compost. I want to know, how did you do that here? You know, how did you make that happen on these 3 acres?
One pump operates this entire system. We lift water up, gravity takes it. So this is a very efficient way of growing food. This is ag of the future.
We're producing food 365 days a year.
We're able to grow throughout the winter inside these greenhouses without heat by using the compost pile.
The figure that we use here is we're going at about $5 a square foot in this greenhouse.
2,500 square feet of growing space by using vertical growing.
It's about $200,000 an acre. About $200,000 an acre.